just released this image. They are asking for the public's help in identifying the person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting. CNN's Nick Watt is following this breaking news. Nick, you are in Orem, Utah. This is a really significant moment that this is being put out to crowdsource.
Absolutely. So, Dana, we were told that they made some key breakthroughs overnight. One of those breakthroughs was good, clean video images of this suspect. Now, we were told about 2.5 hours ago that investigators were using technology to try to find an identity from that video image. We were told they were pretty confident that they could do that, but if they couldn't, then they were going to release the images to the public to try and get the public's help. They have now released those images on X, on other platforms, and it shows, as we were told earlier, a college-aged male who, as investigators say, could very easily have blended in with the crowd here on campus. 3,000 people here to see Charlie Kirk yesterday. They described this young male suspect as college age, able to blend in. So the other key breakthroughs that they discussed, they have found a weapon, a high-powered bolt-action rifle with some writings. They are going through those writings. FBI analysts looking at the writings, also at the weapon, also trying to find an identity. It is now coming up on 22 hours since the shooting, and of course, with every hour, this task gets harder.
All right, folks, so I didn't think I was going to do...
So now they have a suspect. They found a long bolt-action rifle, and there's an article in Mediaite this morning that says, MAGA faithful slam Kash Patel over social media posts about Charlie Kirk investigation. Terrible at your job, they said. It says the MAGA faithful are piling on FBI Director Kash Patel after he marked the arrest of a suspect in Charlie Kirk's assassination on social media Wednesday night, only to admit less than 2 hours later the subject in custody has been released. I reported on that right away that there was a subject in custody and had to deal all night with people in my comments saying, anyway, you know, the manhunt for Kirk's killer is ongoing after the assassin, believed to have been dressed in all black tactical gear, slipped away after firing the fatal shot. There appeared to be hope when Patel announced on a social media post that they had their man. Only 2 hours later, Director Patel has since published an update from his official at FBI Director Kash handle that the subject in custody has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement and that the FBI's investigation continues, meaning Mr. Kirk's killer remains at large. So Patel's attempt at transparency with the public hoping for an arrest has backfired among right-leaning critics who are collectively asking why the hunt for Kirk's killer is still going on. Laura Ingraham, suspects, she retweeted, breaking, FBI now says the suspect they had in custody has been released. So the Charlie Kirk assassin now appears to still be on large. And Laura Ingraham of Fox News says, suspect still on loose. Unreal. Get him. Another comment. So the assassin is still on the loose? And another MAGA influencer referred to him as the Keystone Cops. Yeah, Joe Biggs come out and say, why is the head of the FBI speculating like everybody else and not in the know? At FBI Director Kash, you're the person we're supposed to get the final truth from. Stop all this clickbait shit you keep doing. It's unbecoming of the office in which you represent and only proves you were a horrible pick for this position. Well, yeah. Will Sommer, FBI Director Kash Patel is getting a lot of heat from MAGA after tweeting that the second suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination has been released, meaning the real Charlie Kirk shooter is still on the run. Lucas Sanders said he doesn't know anything about the situation. He should resign. Then there were two posts. These two posts are the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen from an FBI director. What WTAF were you thinking making the announcement like that? And the guy they arrested had a pellet gun. ABC News article came out. FBI releases images of person of interest, announces $100,000 reward amid manhunt for Charlie Kirk's killer. Cartridges with transgender and anti-fascist writing on them were found. Transgender and anti-fascist writing on them were found. I don't know if I believe that. They're going to already say it's Antifa and transgender. The two buzzwords, the only two buzzwords that the Republicans have in their fucking toolbox. Transgender, Antifa. Come on, man. It continues. The FBI has released images of a person of interest sought in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk, the founder of conservative youth activist organization Turning Point USA, during an event in Utah Valley University on Wednesday. We're asking for the public's help identifying this person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. FBI's Salt Lake City office said on X on Thursday while sharing two images of the individual who was wearing a baseball cap, sunglasses, and was captured in a stairwell in one of them. The FBI said it's offering a reward up to $100,000 for information leading to the identification and arrest of the person responsible for Kirk's murder. So we know their suspect is college-aged, white, male. Yeah. That's him in the stairwell. That's him with a shirt on. So the rifle they found was an older model imported Mauser. Really? .30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel, multiple law enforcement sources told ABC News. The location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel, the sources say. The spent cartridge was still chambered, and 3 unspent cartridges contained wording on them expressing that some law enforcement officials described as transgender and anti-fascist, writing according to preliminary information shared with agencies. It's unclear what that means, and authorities are still working to determine the meaning or whether the markings were intended as misdirection for investigators. The firearm and ammunition have been taken by the FBI for DNA analysis and fingerprint impressions. Upon completion of forensics, the firearm will be disassembled for any additional importer information. One thing that really concerns me is the amount of times that the actual moment of his killing and the subsequent gush pouring of blood as he collapses back is being disseminated online over and over and over again. Nobody's censoring the gore. And I know this is exactly what regimes do for ultimate shock and anger and outrage. This is what they do. That's why we attack other people's countries when they're doing live segments on the news. We do that for fear. We do that on purpose, intentionally. This stinks to high heaven to me.